So it's about to be Pesach. And the question is, can you start Yom Tov Sheni early so that you would be able to actually set up for the second Seder before the stars come out at the end of the first day Yom Tov, which of course would be hugely beneficial and a time saver for so many households. Now this question was asked by a colleague in New Jersey, and it consists of a couple of parts. First, in general, are you allowed to start a second day Yom Tov while it's still the first day? Can you daven an early Ma'ariv and bring in the second day, or is that a compromise on the identity of the first day? So there's a Taz that says it is a problem. You can't daven Shmini Atzeres while it's still Sukkos. It undermines the status of Sukkos. But the poskim disagree, and they say that there's no contradiction. It's still, for example, in that case, Sukkos, but you've also brought in the sanctity of Shmini Atzeret. There's certainly no contradiction between first day Yom Tov and second day Yom Tov. You can daven an early second day Yom Tov, Ma'ariv, while it's still the first day. That's not a problem. Okay, great. So we davened an early Ma'ariv. Will this now allow us to prepare and to set the table? Now, on one hand, the answer is, if we're talking about doing biblical violations, biblical malachot, you cannot do that on the first day for the second day, even if you started an early second day Yom Tov. You cannot cook or light a fire or anything for the second night while it's still the first day until the stars come out. Biblically, you have to wait till the full first day finishes before you can do a malacha for the second day. But in our case, we're not dealing with a malacha. In our case, we're dealing just with preparation, which is rabbinic. And sometimes rabbinic things are allowed even during this Bein Hashmashos period in general, if they're done for the sake of a mitzvah. So are you allowed here to do this preparation once you've already davened and made this to some degree, partly already second day Yom Tov? And here there are a lot of poskim who say no, you have to wait till the stars come out Sunday night, and that's how most people practice. But there are definitely poskim who say yes. Tshuvas Van Hagos of Rav Sternbach says certainly if it's Bein Hashmashos and you've already davened, you've designated today also with a Yom Tov Sheni status. And even though, as we've said, it's not really Yom Tov Sheni, you can't cook, you can't do a fire, you can't do those things, it has enough of that Yom Tov Sheni status that you can be setting up the table and getting it ready for the night, because in a certain way, it already is Yom Tov Sheni. And if it weren't Pesach, you could even be making Kiddush now, and you could even be eating your meal now. So it really is, to some degree, Yom Tov Sheni together with Yom Tov Rishon, and it's not considered preparing for the next day. So everybody should know that if you want to set up on Sunday for Sunday night, then if you daven Ma'ariv and it's after sunset, you are on total good ground to be already setting up before the stars come out. And I hope that makes everybody's Pesach much easier and more manageable, and we should all have a Chag Kosher v'Sameach.